Now, welcome back. Now we are going all the way across to New York, and we have a young woman in here in the studio, Erica. How's it going, Erica?
I'm well, Damien. How are you?
Good, thanks. Where are you from, Erica?
I'm from Miami originally. After I graduated university, I lived in New York for 6 years.
And Shawnee Kelly in New York. Shawnee Kiley. Good morning, Shawnee.
Good morning, Damien. How are you?
Very well, thanks. Say hello to Erica. Erica, say hello to Shawnee.
Hi, Shawnee.
Now we want people to text in anybody who has connections with America, who's gone to live in America, who has relations living over there, or Americans that are living over here in Ireland and particularly around the southeast. It's a really interesting topic because we're going to have this idea of how cultures clash, how they merge, how people move around and why they take up residence in different parts of the world. Shawnee, people would know you first. You're originally on Rinn, is that correct?
Originally, I grew up in Kilmacthomas. My father's side of the family is obviously from Kilmacthomas, but moved to Rinn at a very young age in the early 2000s. So I would consider myself as being from Rinn.
And when did you move to the States?
I've been in the States now, just coming up on 2 years, Damien.
How have you developed such an accent so quickly from Rinn to New York? That is some accent, all right.
No, definitely not, Damien. I still have the Waterford brogue. It's something that I'll never lose, and it's something I certainly don't want to lose at the same time as well.
You sound like Tom Cruise in Far and Away.
Who wants to be compared to Tom Cruise?
Absolutely. And the reason we'd have the bit of crack as well, because I've played against you in junior football, and
I was only thinking earlier on. I think the last time we had a conversation, Damien, we exchanged a few choice words between us because. As you well know, you have a very tricky left leg. It's hard to deal with. And I remember I was a cornerback playing for Rinn in a junior football game. I'd say it was only about 6 months before I came over here, Damien.
That's right.
I think that was the last time I said that I spoke to you.
I retired you. Erica, tell me about yourself. Tell us about your surname?
Rinn.
Tell us about where you have come from and where you're living now.
Yeah, so I'm from Miami, like I said originally. My parents are from Cuba and came to Miami. So I grew up there, graduated university, took a job in New York, met my now Irish husband.
What's his name?
Michael Rinn. He's from Balmahan, and we were meant to come for the summer to vacation, but I fell pregnant with our first son and we never left.
What's your son's name?
Cian. He's 2. And I have Jack, who's 1, so very busy.
And where are you living now?
I live actually not even in Lemybrien. This is outside, like 2.5 kilometres off the main road. So as rural probably as you could possibly get.
How are you?
I'm good.
Having the children, one thing, obviously the time and the demands that takes, but the culture difference coming from Miami to Lemybrien.
Completely different. Honestly.
No, I'll go away.
I know, shocking to hear. But honestly, it's been beautiful. Like, I remember coming to visit and meet my husband's family, and every time I came, I would think, God, I could definitely live here. You know, everyone's so friendly, and it's just kind of this really pure existence. I felt like completely different from my work environment in New York, which is very long hours, kind of go to work, come back home, fall asleep, do the same thing the next day. I felt this was just much more family oriented and a brilliant place for our kids anyway.
Shawnee, that leads us directly to you and the reason why you went to the States, and how are you finding that difference between Waterford and New York?
I do agree. I do agree that the hours are long. You know, it's not uncommon in New York to be doing a 12-hour day. You could be in the office from 8 a.m. and you mightn't get out again until 8 or 9 that night. New Yorkers certainly do have a very strong work ethic, Damien, but I think as well, Americans they learn how to compensate for that. You know, they really do make the most of their weekends. It was just this weekend past was Memorial Weekend, which, as Erica knows, is the official start of summer here in the US. And I do think that Americans, you know, that they work hard, but they also play hard, and they know how to make the most out of their time. But it is very different. You know, I live in Hoboken, New Jersey, which is just right across the Hudson. I work in Manhattan. I'm just behind St. Patrick's Cathedral, which is a very hectic area. You know, it's full of tourists and it's go, go, go all the time. But I said I live in Hoboken, New Jersey, which it gives you some bit of respite. I'm beside the Hudson, and I go for a jog some mornings, and I tune into WLR early in the morning. If I'm up at 5:30 or 6 a.m., I was listening to your show over the last few days and the election coverage and things like that. But yeah, you do learn how to deal with it. But it is definitely a different work culture. And I do think, in fairness, Irish people, we have a very healthy perspective on life and how we deal with that work-life balance. And Waterford there's no better place than Waterford, and even in Ireland in general, that the people of Ireland, how they deal with work and family and that support network. And New Yorkers they're tough, but they also do try to make the most out of family and the time that they have, Damien.
Okay, keep jogging, obviously, because you will be needed in the on Ryan team when you get to the semi-final. Obviously, they're going to fly you back, I'd say, especially.
I heard on Ryan tipped you by a pint last week.
They did. We won't talk about it. Somebody missed a penalty with the left foot. The left foot wasn't working. We'll move swiftly on. No, we're not going to talk about that now. Erica's here laughing. Erica, when you hear Shawnee talking about the work ethic, can you explain it from an American perspective, how it compares with what we have here?
Yeah, to be honest, I sort of assumed that was the way I would always work. I did long hours. I always worked jobs during university. Once I started, I went into the magazine industry, which was very long hours, kind of non-negotiable. In fact, I remember some of my bosses would leave to do a kid's event, perhaps a child's birthday, and it was nearly looked at like, really? You're going to go before 9 o'clock at night. You're going to go before, especially with the closing and issues and everything. So I just assumed that was what work was. It wasn't until really, I suppose, I met my husband that he had this healthy dose of 4 weeks of holiday per year. And I thought, dear God, what is that? I didn't know it could be different. So truly, when I came here and when I started working again, was the first time I thought, wow, the work-life balance is just so important. You don't realise how stressed you are and how much it affects you. And
Shawnee, with that, I'll come back to you in a second, Erica. You're working in a law firm, is that right?
Yeah, Damien. I was a qualified barrister back in Ireland, but I re-qualified over here in the States recently as an attorney in New York. So. And
what about? What about personal circumstances in terms of girlfriends, wives, children, anything like that?
Oh no! I'm young and single, and you like anybody. It's there's worse places to be than New York with an Irish accent as a single guy.
Absolutely, yeah. And is it what they make it out to be in the movies and in the programs regarding law firms and Manhattan? Like, in some respect, some people would see it as a nightmare. If you're in a tractor now, ploughing and tilling or whatever you're doing around Lemybrien, you might be delighted just to be out there at one with nature, and others would see it as a dream to be going across the Hudson up to Manhattan every day.
You're exactly right, Damien. I've had several friends come over and visit me over the last 2 years since I've been here, and some of them say, "Oh my God, isn't it great? You're a young guy in your 20s and you're working as a lawyer in Manhattan." And then I have other people that come over, friends that visit me, and say, after 2 or 3 days, "I don't know how you're doing this. I'd hate to do this." So it really is different for different people. But yeah, you see it on both sides. Some people, they absolutely hate the idea of living in New York and how busy it can be. It can be hot in the summer and everyone is working so hard. But then you have other people and they thrive on that. They really go for it, and that's what they want to do. But you see different people react to it very, very differently.
Yeah. Erica, food. Do you want to ask Shawnee about the food? What's he eating over there?
Actually, I'm deadly curious because I just heard that one of the bars in Astoria and Queens is now serving 99s. It's the first place in New York. Have you had one? What are you missing?
I bought a 99, believe it or not, on the way home from work. I think it was 2 days ago.
Oh, brilliant.
Before the weekend, Friday, and it cost me $4. I said, "This is a 99."
They don't get what it's about, do they?
No. But I will say as well, I had a colleague who visited Ireland there a couple of months ago, and he came back and I said, "What did you like? What didn't you like?" And he said, "I couldn't get over how bad the food was in Ireland." I've heard that several times over here. People complain about the food, but it's not something that I didn't think Ireland food, that our food was held in such low esteem around the world. But yeah, apparently it's something that people complain, Americans especially, complain about when they go to Ireland.
We'll ask Erica about that. Erica, what do you think of the food here and what do you miss?
I would like to respectfully not be put in the camp that does not like Irish food. I actually love it. In fact, I could see myself eating way too much on many occasions. Like bacon and cabbage. Never had it before I moved here. Love it. I try to go every Wednesday to my mother-in-law's house to eat it.
You try to go, or you do go?
The homemade food is different.
Oh, it's so
food.
nice.
Yeah. What's the mammy-in-law's name?
Mary Hearn.
Mary Hearn.
She loves you, by the way. She's going to be delighted about this.
She might make bacon and cabbage some night. We'll call over to her someday.
Yeah, don't even say it now. You have to.
Good bacon and cabbage. What do you miss about the States, Erica?
I'd say,
is there anything you miss?
My one complaint about food, about the States anyway, is just sort of the amount of different cultures, like cultural food you can get. You know what I mean? Like, my family's Cuban, so I would have grown up eating a lot of Cuban food, which you can't get here. So it's little things like that. Even black beans, it's hard to find in supermarkets. I found it in an Asian market in Waterford. I was so excited. I called my mom back home, like, just ridiculous. But other than that, there really isn't much other than family and friends that I think, I really miss that. I've really taken well to Ireland and I love it. So,
Shawnee, are you missing anything? Do people bring over rashers, sausages or bags of tato or anything like that to you when they're visiting you?
You get a supply of Lyons tea or Barry's tea, depending on who's coming over. But yeah, no, it's very, very similar to Erica. I think, everyone's human, and the things that people miss the most is obviously family and friends, and just it's the small things that you miss, Damien. Say, for example, if you're out on a date with a girl, or you're talking with friends, and you make maybe a reference to Father Ted or something that's very colloquial and you go to Ireland, and it just goes over to somebody's head. It's those little small things that you miss, Damien, definitely.
And listen, I know you have to go and catch your ferry to get over to work, so we won't keep you too much longer. Keep listening to WLR on the podcast and on the app.
Indeed,
and this is how you got in touch. You posted a picture there a few weeks ago, and I was delighted to see you listening. And anybody else, any Waterford people that are over there listening, do you think you'll come back at some stage, Shawnee? What are your plans? Forget about the junior championship now for a while. Think about more serious matters. Well, there's nothing more serious than a junior championship, but
nothing more serious than a junior championship, Damien. But I know you never know. I said I'm at a good part of my life. I'm young. I'm in my mid-20s. I'm going to see how it goes for the next few years. I suppose the danger with anything is how way leads on to way, and you never know where these things go. So at the moment, I'm just trying to focus on living in the moment and doing the best I can and getting a good experience out here. So that's my main priority right now.
Okay, and Erica, you're here to stay?
Here to stay.
Absolutely.
Ireland stuck with me.
And you try and get black beans sold in
work on that
in Lemybrien, in the little shop there in Lemybrien. Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe we can get a supply chain going.
Absolutely, yeah, we could, and the Kilrossendy lads could maybe beef themselves up with some black beans. Listen, the both of you, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Shawnee, mind yourself over there, and we'll talk to you again soon. Erica, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Damien. Slán.